Brought via Columbian Exchange from the Americas, maize, also known as corn, was brought to Africa and used as animal feed. It was grinded into cornmeal and masa as well. Coffee was exported to the Americas from Africa through Europe. In addition, tobacco was brought back to Europe during Columbus and was used to smoke, as medicine, and was sometimes used as currency. Gunpowder started in the Middle East but was then used by Europe to transport to the Americas. Sugarcane started in the Caribbean and then was given to the Europeans. Similar to sugarcane, molasses traveled along the same route. Gold was also transported throughout the Columbian Exchange from Africa to Europe and later to the Americas.
Bananas were a product that started in East Asia and given to Africa. Africa then transported them to the Caribbean. Diseases such as the smallpox and measles were brought from Europe as well as slaves from Africa to the Americas and caused many people who were not immune to die. The Middle East took women as well as children back with them to their country to serve as concubines. Europeans also took slaves to work for them and then transported them to the Americas so the slaves could work for them as well. In North America, slaves worked for the people on cotton plantations. And then in places like the Caribbean, slaves worked on sugar plantations. Horses also played a part in the Columbian Exchange because they became domesticated animals. The Europeans were the people who brought these horses back to the Americas, and they were then able to use them there.
Okay, introduce yourselves.
I'm Africa. I'm the Caribbean.
And what was your effect on Africa?
Well, when all the Europeans came over, we needed easy sources of labor for our plantations and the plantation economy because all the native people died, and so we needed an easy source of labor. So in response, I sent them over slaves to work on all their sugar plantations.
Introduce yourselves.
I'm Africa.
I'm the Middle East.
And how did you affect Africa?
I affected Africa because I took a bunch of women and children slaves into my country and used them as concubines. Introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Africa.
I'm Europe.
And what was your effect on Africa?
Well, I took a lot of their slaves in order to help with distribution and production of new foods and technologies for the world. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Africa. I'm North America.
And how did you affect Africa?
The slaves that they sent over, we were able to produce our native foods, which were maize and potatoes, and send them back over through the exchange, which helped them as well.
Well, it helped my country because they were able to keep the foods that they sent were able to keep our populations healthy, which also kept our population at the same level, even though many of our people were being transported to other countries to serve as slaves.
It was just so hard being sent to the Middle East to become a concubine. It was degrading, and I hated it, and it broke our family apart. My husband was sent to the Americas, and now he works as a slave on plantations, and it's just been a terrible experience.